Greetings and salutations. Before we had shows like, say, Rebels, Clone Wars, or anything like that when it comes to Star Wars, we had shows like Star Wars Droids and Star Wars Ewoks. So yeah, we're going to go back to look at some of these shows. So first we're going to look at Star Wars Droids.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
Adventures of R2-D2 and C-3PO. It was a show from the 1985, and it focused on the exploits of R2-D2 and C-3PO between events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Both of these the show was produced by Nelvana on behalf of Lucasfilm and broadcast on ABC. If you don't really know about Nelvana, they had actually done they were originally going to do the animation for a Doctor Who animated show, but they weren't able to, and they had even done the animated film Rock and Roll.
Anyone want a beer?
Which is actually not bad. So, the opening, I actually kind of liked this. I actually thought the idea of, having mini stories before, like, say, between episode 3 and episode 4 is actually pretty good when it becomes interesting when it has between the characters of R2-D2 and C-3PO. I do probably think it would have been, like, strange for probably, like, say, the audience growing up watching this, and the fact they probably thought, like, oh, well, when does this take place? Because they probably feel like, say, well, when do they meet Luke and Obi-Wan again? Or Leia? Because at first, like, when you're first watching it, you're thinking, like, say, when does this take place exactly? But as you go through it, you just learn to just go, okay. So, Droids, the amount of episodes it had was, like, say, 13 episodes and one special. It ran from September 7th, 1985 to June 7th, 1986. I think one of the ways you're able to think, okay, this takes place before, after Revenge of the Sith. But then again, since it came out in the 80s, we probably didn't know that. Except for, like, say, there's a moment when, they say, hey, like, say, one of their masters, who are two brothers that are, space racers, one of them has a lightsaber.
Some repair work for a stranger a long time ago. He never came back to pick up his speeder. This was in it.
My word, a lightsaber.
It should do the trick. Stand back.
And he goes, that's the weapon of a Jedi. And heck, there's even, like, say, two goofy a gangster family that is going after them, and who's basically like, say, dang you, Twiggy!
How are we going to keep up with a speeder in this thing?
Just watch me. Hang on, but don't wrinkle the suit.
And I'm just, and it, basically just a goofy gang family. They're just, like, constantly just being, getting into trouble, and that they're always trying to get after C-3PO or the whatever master that R2-D2 and 3PO have.
It was all his idea to try and...
Let's go. I'm turning you over to Jabba the Hutt for the reward.
No! But you can't. We can talk this over, can't we?
In that particular episode or that season. Because each 4 episodes have a different, story, arc. Which is, that's always a pretty good idea. To, like, say, each 4 episode, okay, new story arc. Because, you don't want to, stay stuck on one story element for too long. The music for this episode, the opening theme of it, In Trouble Again, was performed by Stuart Copeland of The Police. I actually kind of think it actually works fairly well for it.
Strap yourself
and the fact, 3POs always say, "Oh no, we're in trouble again." I actually think that Anthony Daniels does a great job, but I still feel like, okay. And the fact that they always say, R2-D2 played by R2-D2, I'm just yeah.
Yes, it was a sacrifice, Arthur. But that's what friends are for. We may be surrounded by nothingness, but we do have something. Friend.
So, Ewoks was also produced or animated by the Nelvana animated company. They're based in Canada. But unlike, say, Droids, this show actually had quite a few more episodes, in that the show ran from September 7th, 1985 to December 13th, 1986, with 2 seasons, 26 episodes, and 35 segments. And that some episodes went from, the first season was 24 minutes, and the second season had episodes segmented into 11 minutes, so then they would be able to have opportunities for number episode. So 2 episodes per,
You have messed with the rest, now the best will make a mess! Implement of commercial enterprise! Rolf's back is cricked! Yet again!
2 episodes per show, I guess. My whole thoughts on this show is that compared to Droids, I thought, this show kind of reminds me of shows sort of like, say, the Smurfs meets the Gummy Bears. Do you remember the Gummy Bears? That was actually a show that I actually really liked.
And friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare.
I will say that I do like, say, the fantasy element of the show, in that, you have all these creatures that would have appeared in things like, say, the Ewoks films, which is really cool. I think the creature designs they had for those films were actually a lot of fun. At the same time, I do think it's just I don't know. It's compared to this one, it's more of a fantasy, and I like that. But at the same time, it's just, I don't know. I feel like at the same time, while we have some of the things that were fun about the Ewoks films, like, say, the little fireflies known as the Twittits, I believe, and they also have a villain known as Morag the Talig Witch, and basically she has a grudge against one of the tribe's master, Lagra.
Friend, help save your people again, you did. Soon it'll be just you and I, Logray, and then it'll be just I. Huh?
And the Daleks, who are another race in the show. I'm gonna say that I kind of think it's okay. This isn't a show, compared to Droids, this isn't a show where I feel like, say, I don't know, I feel like, say, Ewoks works better on, say, live action? I don't know. While I like the animated sequences of it, this isn't a show that I feel like I would come back to watch. It feels like a show that was just, okay, so we have this property, so maybe we should make a cartoon. Okay.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you geese were supposed to stay in that hut.
But Weechi, the forest...
Huh?
Whoa, what is it?
Okay, so now we have a cartoon. Let's try to make some product placement for it. Because I feel like, say, okay, all the characters are rather cute, and they're not bad looking, the character designs for them. at the same time, it just feels like they were gonna say, okay, these are how the toys are gonna be looking. And there's nothing wrong with that. I guess, like, the show had some great episodes, like, say, Battle for the Sunset, which was, the finale episode, which shows the Ewoks having to, when they are leaving the Forest Moon, and they go upon a Imperial Star Destroyer.
There's a lot of noise down the hall. Sounds like a party. Do you fancy it?
Party? Cool that sounds.
And so basically it would go, the show was sort of, in a way, trying to breach itself before, the sixth film, which was, Return of the Jedi. And, yeah. So basically, it would show, like, all the adventures that would happen before Return of the Jedi, which is honestly a pretty cool idea in the show. Like, say, hey, they have all these little adventures, or all these little strange things that happen with all these strange creatures that we wouldn't normally see in a Star Wars film. Because when it comes to Star Wars, sometimes it will only, we usually focus on, say, the Jedis, the Skywalker family. We don't always focus on, like, say, perhaps the creatures or things that are in a galaxy far away. Or sometimes we don't always focus on the war aspects, unless it's, like, shows like, say, Andor. But, I mean, overall, I kind of thought that, I kind of liked Droids. It was actually a lot of fun. Ewoks, I feel like with these shows, I feel like, say, these shows would be a lot more fun to watch with others than just by yourself. What are your thoughts on these shows? Did you ever watch them growing up? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I'll see you next time.